Hello, and welcome to the review for A Course of Love, Chapter 14. And we're going to talk about special relationships, earthly and human. So, we begin in this chapter with the recognition that you have made an enemy of creation. That might appear to be a really strong statement. But when you look at it, you recognize that you seek to be different, to fragment yourself and all of creation. And within your own universe, you see creation as meant to serve you. And that's not how creation was intended. That's why you have made an enemy of creation, because you've decided the way that you think things should go, and you think creation should serve you to support that. And of course, the basis of what the personal self wants creation to be is specialness and separation. That's the fundamental idea that has been created here. And it seems like on that level and to that end, the self-talk that happens is a constant barrage of either superiority, as in, well, at least I'm better than that one. Oh, they don't do that as well as I. Or I can't believe how crazy people are. So that judgment of how I'm more special because I'm superior to others. And then we have the other end of the spectrum. I'm more special because I'm inferior from others. Oh, I'm not loved as much as they are. Oh, I don't look as good as that one does. Oh, I'm too old. Oh, I'm too this, I'm too that. And so we find our self-talk somewhere on that scale, going from I'm better to I'm not as good. I'm better, I'm not as good. And each end of this spectrum contributes to an overall sense of being separate and being special. I'm completely different from everybody else. So what happens then is we have an internal war going on. There's always a war against creation, constantly, because this is not what creation actually is. It's what we have tried to make of it. And so because of that internal war, there's just not any peace that's possible on any lasting level when we're trying to turn our experience into one of separation and specialness. And here's one of the crazy ideas that we have taken, is that there'll be a heaven after death. This is a reward for my specialness. So not everybody gets to go. Not everybody has the same experience. And so I then am going to be rewarded for how special I am, how hard I've tried, how good I am. I love this chapter 5. It just really hits the nail on the head. What creator would create a world in which the highest achievement of the life upon it would be to leave it in order to gain life? And that's really backwards. And what creator would create a world not meant to exist in harmony, when harmony is life? And what creator would create a temporary life and hold eternal life as a reward for death? I mean, it's insane. To believe this, you must believe in an insane God, a God of chaos and illusion. And now recognize that this is not just true for those who believe in, pearly gates and streets of gold kind of a heaven, but for all of our concepts about some reward after death, for doing a good job, for learning something better, whether that means a better lifetime next time or good karma or whatever it is that we've decided is going to be our reward for doing a good job. It's all the same insanity. Because there is no creator who would test you and then reward you after death. Because we're alive. There's at no point where are we not alive. So love then is the foundation of a real heaven, and it's not limited to happening after death. And fear is the foundation of this world and this idea that heaven happens after death. So really what has happened, as the ego is so adept at doing, is it's taken something real, which is the idea of a heaven, the idea of a place of peace and joy, and it's boxed it in a way that fits its idea of separation and specialness. And move to another idea that the ego took, the idea of love, which is our essence and is the essence of life itself. So it took the idea of love, and instead of actually accepting love as it was, which would prohibit specialness, it introduced it in another way. It encapsulates it, defines it differently, so that it fits our world of separation. So what we think is love can set me apart and make me special. I like the way it feels to be loved. I mean, who doesn't like that? Because that's the best thing there is in this world of illusion. So I need to make sure I don't lose it. I need constant verification that I'm special to my loved ones. I need to bind them to me by providing a trade exchange. We must become mutually dependent in order to maintain the sense of well-being and of being special to each other. So I love the way it feels to be loved. When you love me, it makes me feel special and it makes me feel safe. So I need to make sure I don't lose that. And so what happens then is fear has replaced love. Fear of the loss of love, fear of being alone, and fear of not being special. Those are the fears that replace love. You can get a deeper understanding at this if you look back at your failed relationships. Originally, they caused you great joy, but they ended in so much pain and they left you more alone. Why is that? Well, what you felt was actual love. That's why it felt so good. Falling in love is a lot of fun. And it's not false. It's the real deal. That's what love actually feels like. That ecstatic, accepting, joyful union thing is real love. It was your response to love that failed you, not love itself. So in order to maintain your self-contained universe, you can't join. Love is joining. So you can't do that and still be self-contained. So you try for the next best thing, which is keeping a twin universe close to you, bound to you. In order for me to love, your universe has to be bound to mine. Of course, the problem with that being that love doesn't bind. Love can't be present where binding and fear occurs. So the whole thing didn't work because you took love and switched it to fear through your need to be special. In verse 21, and yet the greatest fear of all is that of loss of love. You who have given everything to be alone and separate, fear most of all that which you have given everything to attain. For what is loss of love but confirmation of a separated state. We had love, we were joined, and now we're separate again. So what we want most is love, but we, up to now, have not been willing to sacrifice that idea of separation and that idea of specialness in order to actually have the ongoing experience of living in love. So again, the world's version of these two concepts, first of love, is that it's a reward for being good and worthy. If I'm a good person, if I'm beautiful, if I'm desirable, other people are going to love me. It's a reward. And heaven is a special reward for after I die. So me in my separated state, that's how I can reward myself. Of course, it doesn't work. In verse 26, while your purpose remains to make yourself and others special, you will not put an end to the separation. It's just not going to happen, because love and fear, love and separation can't exist in the same space. One is illusion and one is truth. The answer is joining. In verse 27, each joining returns you to holy relationship with your brother, which is the only one you have in truth. And verse 29, but as long as you equate love with the special ones on whom you choose to bestow it, you will know love not. What you will know is specialness, raised to the level of the Almighty and set upon His throne in a crown of jewels. And really, this is what we do with those that we've decided are our special ones. We make them the most important thing. We make that relationship number one priority. And they really are set upon a throne in our lives. And of course, that's what happens when we lose those people or we lose that love. Then we're devastated. And the only answer to ending this madness is joining with the present moment, joining with what comes across your life, and joining with everyone else who's in your life, no matter what role or character they're playing in your life. There are but two emotions, love and fear. Love threatens specialness because its very nature is joining. It's not judgmental and it doesn't discriminate. Fear then replaces and discards love. That's the situation we're in. Now, a lot of people have problems thinking, how can I not have a special relationship with my child or my spouse or my parent? Surely they will suffer if I withdraw the position of specialness that I have given them. But in answer to that, just ask yourself, how can loving all as one bring harm? Where is the loss, even to your special ones? How will they lose if you completely allow and accept them as they are? Where is the loss in that? Where is the loss in giving them the freedom to respond and be however they are and whatever they feel called to do? There is no loss there when you look at it. There's only gain. Because it's not like you're going to withdraw your love. The only thing that you're withdrawing is the chains that bind you, the fear that forces you to keep them in certain expectations, positions, expected behaviors, and compensations. And in verse 31, all that is lost is specialness. For your refusal to give up specialness is a refusal of the Christ in you and a refusal of love itself. That's what you're losing, is specialness, and that's it. Everything else is a gain. So this brings us to the bare truth that when you are willing to give up your separated state, when you are willing to not be special and different and separate, then true joining, true love, and true peace, heaven on earth actually, can happen. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.